Hey, how's it going, my friends? Yesterday, I released a video on this worldwide game jam with almost 4,000 entries, and two things have happened in the 24 hours since that video. Number one, I've realized that the name of this game jam is pronounced Ludum Dare and not Ludum Dare. I don't know what I was thinking with that. The other thing that's happened is that the dust has settled, and I've found a bunch more fantastic games from the game jam that you guys should play today. So I'm bringing those games to you in this video today, and hey, if this is reaching you and you are not yet subscribed to the channel, make sure to hit that big red subscribe button down below. I upload indie game related content 6 out of 7 days of the week, so make sure to hit that subscribe button if you don't want to miss an upload. Now let's jump into the video. Alright, let's just jump straight in. There is no point delaying this content. Our first game that I want to talk about is a game called Rusty by Primum Ludum. This is an adventure survival game. It's a top-down 2.5D game where you play as a rusty old robot trying to find your way through a maze-like level. Now each level is a huge maze of corridors and pools, and you have to find your way to the exit. The faster you move, the smaller the area around you that you can see is, so you have to stop and let the light expand in order to see more. But here's the catch. When you sit still, you begin to rust, and if you sit still for too long of a cumulative period of time, you will rust out and not be able to move anymore. Now, in order to add to that and make the game even more interesting, there's pools scattered around each level, and when you go into the pool, even if you're moving, you begin to rust. And there's also stations scattered around each level where you can de-rust yourself and take a break from moving. This game is fantastically designed, and between the old decrepit art design and the haunting music, it creates a cohesive and well-designed atmosphere that's super fun to play in. I'd highly recommend you go check it out. By the way, guys, every one of these games will be 100% free, and I will include the links down in the description. Now let's move on to the second game that I want to talk about. This is a game called Flood by Joxev and Ret 401. This game is an endless platformer, which is not a term that you hear too often, but this game features levels where you hop around and you have to escape the rising flood. If the flood overtakes you and you are submerged in water, you lose and you have to repeat the game. This is a score-based game with no end, so you just have to keep continuing on and trying to beat your last score. In this game, you play as a slime who can move along, stick to walls, and dash in all 4 directions, and it makes for a really great gameplay experience. If you guys do like 2D platformers and you're looking for a new challenge to test out your skills, this game would be a great one to check out. Alright, moving on to the next game I wanted to talk about. This is a game called TumbleWeed by Nicolas Mey. It's a 3D journey atmospheric game where you play through a sci-fi world as a tumbleweed. Now this game has art and music elements that really remind me of Journey. It's fantastic and peaceful, but what this game adds in is a sci-fi danger element. So as you travel through the desert, there's different high-tech cities. Some of them are in ruins and others are inhabited. There's also robots that will shine lasers at you and try to shoot you out as you go through this level. The other thing that makes this game unique is that you do not actually have direct control over your character, which is a tumbleweed. What you have control of is the wind. So by clicking and dragging, you can blow the wind in various directions in order to influence the path of your tumbleweed and get it to the end of the level. As you continue through this game, from time to time, it gives you the next verse in a beautiful poem about your journey, and it overall just contributes to the peaceful, serene atmosphere. This game overall just feels fantastic and polished, and I could not believe it was made in 72 hours. If you guys do like these sort of single-player journey exploration games, I highly recommend you check out TumbleWeed. Alright, moving on, we have a game called Solais by DragonXVI. This is a 2D retro platformer. It's super tricky, and it expertly, and I mean expertly, captures the feeling of these super old retro platformers. With a super simplistic pixel art design, this platformer really hits home for anybody that enjoys retro games, but it also brings new and creative level design to the table. Now, as you progress through this platformer, you are always holding a torch, which lights up parts of the level, but if you walk through water, it can extinguish your torch, and you only have a few seconds to relight your torch before the level is lost for good. Now, you can relight your torch by walking over one of the torches on the wall and lighting your torch using that. Wow, I really said torch a lot of times in the last minute. This game combines that super unique light-based game mechanic with spike traps, machines, and bounce pads in order to create a wonderful level-based experience. I mentioned this in my last video, but I love it when indie games are super challenging but give you frequent checkpoints so you don't get frustrated, and this game does that fantastically. If you do like retro platformers, I'd highly recommend you go check out Solais. Alright, moving on to the final game that I wanted to bring to you guys today. This is a game called Oak Defenders by Huggy Muggy 7. What is that name, bro? Anyway, this is a 2D action-adventure tower defense style game with some platforming elements, and you might be thinking, how can a game be all of those genres at once? Well, this one does it fantastically. So in this game, there is a tree in the middle of the map, and it is your job to defend and nurture the tree. Now, as you progress through this game, there's waves of enemies that come in increasing numbers and strengths, and it is your job to defend against all of them. Now, in the times of peace and quiet, it is your job to venture out into the wilderness and collect 3 types of resources. One of these resources allows you to buy plants that will help you defend against the enemies, hence the tower defense aspect. One of them allows you to buy water, which will replenish your HP, and there's a third type of resource which you can feed to the tree in order to make it grow. The end goal of this game is to grow the sapling into a fully fledged tree, but you have to be balancing so many things at once. This game combines all of that with platforming elements and a super fun triple jump system, and overall it blends these 4 genres absolutely seamlessly, and I'd highly recommend that you guys go check it out. It's a fantastic game, and I normally give myself about 10 minutes to play these, but I was so addicted that I played this one for 20 or 25 minutes. Alright guys, I think that's gonna about do it for this video. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment your thoughts on this game jam, and I will see you guys tomorrow in the next video. Bye.